Okay, hello dear friends, good afternoon, good evening. This is the sun is almost setting down. This is the best time for for the light. The light is the best. So I do not look good, but I just want to practice. And I think with a nice scenery, maybe you can enjoy a little bit more. So this is a teeny tiny neighborhood park. There is a children play area, and this way you can see it's teeny tiny little bit park with a tennis court. So let's go and walk around. It's not big, but more than sufficient for us to have a quiet, some quietness. There are people playing and there are people talking, but they bring liveliness to this place, and I like it. Let's go. Okay, let's walk around, and we try to avoid a little bit of these artificial rocks and see some trees. I remember in my backyard, just a couple of trees makes my family, my backyard look so good. So sometimes we do not need to make life too complicated, and a little bit of quietness is just equally fine. And I have not yet getting over these sounding things. I am practicing and trying. So one thing I found is that no matter what equipment you have, you may have a wonderful microphone, you may have the best audio equipment, but if the street is too noisy, and if there is airplane sound like what we are having right now, it does create some quite strong noise. Okay, I will stop here. Okay, I wait for the airplane to pass by, so there is much less noise, and maybe it goes to the direction that is against the wind, or anyway, the wind is not. Look at the birds. Yeah, the wind is not in its favor, so the airplane sound is not that much. And what I am trying is to look for the perfection of imperfection, the perfect imperfection. And you know, it is kind of easy to make something that pristine, clear. Well, for me, it is not easy. I just cannot reach to that. But I find that when there is noise around, when there is sound around, for example, the right amount of bird chirping, the right amount of people talking, and the right amount of a tennis court, a racket sound, or a cricket sound. All of these could be very, very enriching. It makes our life rich. It makes our life real, and it makes our life, our environment, our ambiance looks like complicated, layered, and more interesting. Without it, our life will be, or the sound will be too thin, Thin, too pure, and too unreal. And so this is why now I like to go out with this little gadget, the microphone, so that I can walk around and ignore the surrounding noise. And another thing about this microphone is that it does not take the sound. You cannot hear your voice immediately synchronized. It is not synchronized. So some of the microphone, you can hear your voice while you are talking. You can hear your own voice, and whatever sound it is supposed to produce. So I have one of these microphone. It's the Shure microphone. It is very much like the musicians, I guess, the musicians, the singers, and they sing and they can hear their beat and they can hear themselves. And it is good, kind of a guidance, but it's very, very distracting and it's very stressful because any sound is kind of amplifying because it's so sensitive. So I remember when I used that microphone, I was doing some recording while I listen. And then, for example, my son passed by, or my family opened the door, or the step on the floor. I was petrified, terrified, because it is such a big sound and such a big noise. It's very, very shocking, those sounds. And it makes me unable to produce anything. You know, when something is perfection, when you are searching for perfection, for no sound, it makes you unable to produce anything. So that is my thought on it. And right now I am using this little microphone. I have tried in a very noisy place. The other day I tried in that's a big sound. So the other day I tried in quite a big street. I was kind of in the middle of the street, not middle of the street, on the side road of a very noisy traffic passing street. And I talk relatively normally, but those noise from the cars is quite distracting and annoying. And the other day, or actually yesterday evening, I went to another place, and that place has a big water fountain, and the water fountain that kept on having this water splash and water flow sound. And it's also a little bit too much when I hear it again. So even if you have the best equipment, you have the best technology, there are some things you cannot change. If the environment is too noisy, the ambient does not have a peaceful, nice a condition, quality, there is nothing you can do about it. And this place, I feel there is this quiet quality. And it is small, but it's okay. It adjacent to the highway, but around 50 meters distance. Yeah, around 50 meters distance to the highway, around 50 or 60 yards, around that distance. So there is still a distance, and this microphone can catch my voice, or catch the sound that is close to it. And my mouth to the microphone is around 10 centimeter, so it catches my sound much better. And there are a group of people there, so if I get close to them, then their sound will be a little bit overpowering and becomes quite loud. Then the thing you can do, I can do, any person who make this video, is to avoid some big loud sound source. One of the things I do at home, I think it started to change my life. I used to do voice over at home. I go out with a gimbal and record some sceneries. I go to the mountains and record some sceneries while I was listening to the podcast or to audiobooks. It is very good. I can learn something, but now I can actually use this time to think and to process myself, to process my thinking. And this is such a nice place. It is bigger than my home, prettier than my backyard, greener than the street I live in. So why not take advantage of the surroundings, right? Why not benefit from what the city has provided us? Why not enjoy the benefit of living in a place that has those facilities and convenience, right? You have paid tax, and that tax including providing the public parks, public play structure, and it's good. It's for the bigger good, the greater good of the society, right? When we are happy, the streets are safer, and there is less problem, there is less anger. Kind of makes sense, right? So I remember quite long time ago. Oh my goodness, that's almost 1 year ago. I went to Utah. I went to Utah, Salt Lake City for a math teachers conference. And when I was there, it's connected to my spring vacation or fall vacation. So I extended my stay there for a couple of days more and visited different places. And I remember I visited Redbird Garden or some, Natural History Museum. Yes, Natural History Museum. And then there was one talk. They have a weekend, they have some public talk and this kind of activity. That day there was a talk about city planning and city plantation. Oh yeah, it was a natural talk about how to take care of our nature, how to plant trees and these things. So in Salt Lake City, there was the city has a special committee or commission that is the tree planting or vegetation or horticulture committee. They take care of planting trees, take care of the trees, arborists, and that person, the committee, chief of the committee, made a speech, give a speech about the city condition and their plan, all these things. So in his talk, he mentioned very clearly that according to statistic and just according to, you do not need to according to anything actually. The truth or the fact is, whenever the city or the streets has more greens, has more trees, people are happier and the streets are cleaner, better, and well taken care of, and people live happier and it's safer. I start to think about it, and it is so true. Whenever their place has trees, it is the quality of life seems better. There is a circle that because people live a better life, they can take care of trees, and because there is trees, people can take care of their life and all this. But the truth or the fact is, sorry for the fast car passing. Okay, we go back to this street. And the truth is, whenever there is trees, the city seems, or the neighborhood seems just more peaceful. And my city used to have a problem. We live in California. Just these couple of years, it is extremely dry. And the city has decided to, there was one time city decided to stop watering the plants, stop watering the flower, so it becomes very dry. And then after a few months or something, city said, you do not need to do that because some heritage trees started to suffer. And if there's no water, the tree will die. Life is not only one thing. We cannot make a decision one way and not thinking about others, right? Because tree and life is a complete cycle of life. They are all interwoven and interdependent. So later on, city allow people to water the tree or water the garden, water the plants, and just to be careful. So in the morning, we go to take shower, and at the very first, the water is cold, right? So we have a big pot, and carrying the cold water to water our blackberry, tomato, and plants, and the rest we will, until it is warm, we start to take shower. And if we wash some plants, if we wash dishes, if I do not put soap, for example, if I wash yogurt pot, the rains, you do not put the soap. Then those water we collect and water our plants. Anyway, there are many ways to take care of the greens. I am so happy to see this beautiful green. Look at it, look at it. Okay, I think it's time to call off. Dinner time is ready tonight. We will have some, I do not know what we will have, but it's always fun and good to go back home, to make food, to eat food, right? Okay, bye bye friends. I love you. I really do. Do. Bye bye. You have a beautiful, beautiful and peaceful evening, weekend.